outside, please.
𝘂𝗶𝗁 flings it back for 𝘁𝗵𝗲𝗿𝗀 nearly get the run on the outside with 𝘄𝗶𝗁 and spread it through the hands, cutting back in field. Oh, it's ended up looking...
Hi there, my name's Matt Rogerson. I'm a Premiership professional rugby player with London Irish, and the reason I wanted to begin investing in property was to better use some of my disposable income, allow me to create a passive income while I'm still playing sport, but then also potentially use it as a career opportunity for something that I'd like to go into upon retiring from professional sport. In terms of how I heard about SI, we have a union, the Rugby Players Association, who essentially help us with education and mentorship while we're in the professional game. They put us in touch with Chris at SI, who then onboarded us onto his mentorship program. In terms of the SI mentorship to date, we've received some really good advice and guidance across the whole spectrum of the course from Adam and from Chris. Unfortunately, with COVID-19 being the way it has been, all our program has had to be delivered via online classes as opposed to going into the offices. But despite this challenge, the learning and the education that we've received has not been affected whatsoever, and both the guys have been really attentive in terms of providing all the information that we would possibly need. In terms of the mentorship experience as a whole, for me personally, it was really insightful to learn about all the different stages of the buying process. It's something I wasn't really 100% sure about from an investment property perspective, especially around dealing with mortgages and the different sorts of finance you can raise in order to actually get into the property investment game, and then also how you can then use what you've learned along the way to then, or invested along the way, to potentially then create future investments for yourself and how to build your portfolio that way. For me, the SI mentorship as a whole was an extremely thought-provoking and detailed experience. I learned a lot of information that I previously had no idea about, so from that respect I've come out a lot more knowledgeable than how I started. I think for any other professional sportsmen like myself, or investors generally looking to get particularly into the UK market, it's a great way to get a foothold and get a foot in the door with kind of the basic information that you'll need to know in order to get into this market, but then also the more advanced details in terms of how to actually advance your portfolio and build up something that's going to be really strong over time. Going forward, my investing plans are definitely to get my first investment property ticked off. That's something that I definitely have ambition to do in the near future. I'll 100% be using the knowledge and experience of the guys in the SI team to help me do that, particularly leaning on Chris and Adam, who have been a great help already. I think using the SI platform to source a property could also definitely be an option for me, as everything's laid out there for you. All the expert sources put up some fantastic properties which are great investment opportunities, and lay out a lot of the financial information which make it really easy for someone like me to go and decipher it and then potentially invest. Overall, this mentorship program has given me the confidence to do something which previously I wouldn't have been able to do, and that is actually go out into the market and potentially invest into a property. Essentially, in terms of putting time aside, it's been 4 days of our time. So obviously relatively intensive, but that allows you to gain all that knowledge and soak it up really easily. And so in terms of the amount of time you need to put aside, it's not a huge amount of time. You get support from the guys throughout, and they're there to answer any questions. So it's meant a huge amount to get this course and this mentorship program completed. I'm looking forward to what the future holds and potentially working with the guys further to invest in property.